All right, we're live. We're live. We're waiting for my friend Adam to join us, though. But the USMNT have had a historic night. They have had a historic night and a historic win against Paraguay in the group stage. And we're going to break it all down with my good friend Adam Turner, who will join us very, very shortly to talk about this game. But, I mean, guys, this is about as perfect of a game as you could possibly want. We got some stats. We got some information talking about the records that the USMNT have broke tonight with this game. I mean, what more could you want? If you're a USMNT fan, this was damn near perfect. Damn near perfect. This was a perfect game for the U.S. men's national team tonight. This was a perfect game. They win 4-1, and I couldn't be more. I'm just blown away. I don't think that they have. I don't think that they have scored. I don't think the USMNT. I'll have to look and see in a little bit, but. When is the last time the USMNT scored 4 goals in a game? Here we go. Adam, here we go. Adam.
Come on, baby.
Adam, hey.
Come on, baby. What I tell you a couple weeks ago about these boys? What I tell you?
Adam, listen, man. Okay, first I want to know, how many times did you scream during that game? Did you almost lose your voice?
Oh my God. Like, I was watching with one of my best friends from college. My son stayed up. I mean, we were going bananas. I think my loudest scream was just that Gio goal, to be honest with you.
Oh man.
Woo!
Listen, we've got a lot to break down tonight and talk about. Do you know how much history was broken tonight? There were several things that have never happened tonight. I'm going to have to look it up. But the first thing, oh my God, dude. Adam, there's just so much to talk about, bro. Like, I legit think, listen, bro, I legit think, and I'm not trying to be a prisoner of the moment, but I legit think we might be a dark horse. I think we might be a dark horse.
Listen, you're the home team, right? To me, the home team is, if the home team is at the level we're at, you kind of always are considered a dark horse, right? Like, you've seen all this stuff, like South Korea, Russia. It's really like, if you take teams that have like a legitimate chance, because South Africa and Qatar just didn't, right? It's like Russia and South Korea are the 2 teams that weren't world powers that have hosted World Cups in the last, 20, 30 years, right? Would you agree? Like, that's kind of the,
yes.
And both of them made deeper runs than anyone thought, right? And we're kind of like, I don't know about dark horses necessarily to win it all, but dark horses to make a deep run, right? Like, what the team showed tonight was that all of the stuff that we've been wondering, like, Will, let's just be honest. We have not been battle tested since Nations League, I guess. Like,
if you even want to consider it that. If you want to consider
that was what, a year and a half ago, a year and 3-4 months ago. So I mean, like, it's been a while, and that was still, Poch was still young in the game with us at that point, So like, I remember you and I said, like, this sucked, but like, it's still kind of early here. It's not a good sign, but it's early. And then Gold Cup, I don't know. Gold Cup was the Gold Cup. Nobody came. Like, who cares? And then we played friendlies all year. And like, they looked good, but they're friendlies. Like, who knows, right? Like 5-1 against Uruguay. Like, so there were signs, though. Like, all the signs were pointing toward Poch has kind of figured this group out. He's figured out how he wants to play. The team is kind of figuring each other out. And like, I said it at the beginning, dude. I said, if you give Poch 2-3 weeks with our best group, he's a good coach. I know people have loved to crush the dude for years, right? And you and I doubted him along the journey. I'm not going to say I haven't doubted him.
But listen, hopefully nobody pulls up the shit that we've said about him.
No, but I've never doubted he's a good coach, right? I've doubted his commitment to the program, and I've doubted, like, is he like working hard enough? Like, but all that, honestly, we had no idea. We have no freaking idea, right? We're just fans spouting crap. But he's a good coach. He has a great track record. He's been really good at a number of different spots. And even his failures, right? Like, you can look at his failure at Chelsea, like, they were still really good in the second half of his first year. And that club was a disaster, right? At PSG, like not as good as you'd expect from PSG, but like, it's not like they flopped. Like, he's a good coach, dude. And we gave him 2 years to figure the pool out. We gave him a 3-week camp with our best group. And listen, I said Sebastian Berhalter was going to start 2 weeks ago. You said it last week, I think, right? And he didn't start him. Like, He played Tillman, and it made a lot of sense. And he had Tillman ready to go in the middle of the park, man. Like, oh my God. I'm buzzing,
Adam,
dude.
listen, you and I have been friends for years now, okay? I have done several live shows with you. I've done several recorded shows. The last time I was this happy on a stream with you was when we hired Pochettino.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I have never, and listen, I'm about to piss my pants. I've got to go take a bathroom break. So I'm going to give you the floor for like literally 60 seconds. But
I got it. I'll cook.
I just want to say one thing though. I don't remember ever watching a USMNT game in the World Cup and being this excited. And there's been some good things, but I'm talking about like from a domination standpoint. I don't ever remember us dominating like this ever in a World Cup game.
Yeah, not like that.
Not like that.
No, not beginning to end. And I think like you could go pee. I'm going to cook here for a minute. I'll let them all know. I think my favorite part of that game was the fact that we came out at the beginning and we knew exactly what we wanted to do. We knew exactly how we were going to do it, and we executed to perfection. And that's like the gorgeous thing is because, I don't want to call too much back tonight to bad times, but in the Berhalter era or early in the Poch era, it was very clear that we didn't know what our identity was, or our identity just wasn't very good at times, right? Like our identity was under Berhalter at times. It was like, okay, we're going to be a possession team, but there was just no bite to it, right? And early in the Poch era, when he was trying to figure it out, it was like, I don't know if we knew who we were or what we were, but man, if you contrast that, and that's why tonight feels so special, right? Everyone because if you contrast what we've seen for the last decade, honestly, right? Because you could go back to the 2018 cycle, and you could think about who were we and what were we trying to do during the 2018 cycle. We were kind of lost. Post 2018 cycle, right? It was the Saracen era, and it was like, who are we? What are we doing? The Berhalter era, it was kind of like different eras of Berhalter and different things that Berhalter was trying, and it becomes like, okay, who are we? So the thing, Will get his headphones on here. So Will, the thing I'm talking about right now is like, that was the most clear identity of who I've seen a USMNT team be in over a decade. And the point I was just making was like, if we think back, it's like, okay, the 2018 cycle, I don't think we knew who the hell we were, right? I think that it was kind of the end of the Klinsmann era, and like we didn't know like who was supposed to be playing. We had Pulisic as this young stud. We had other young guys we weren't calling in yet. It's like are we still Dempsey? Are we still Timmy Howard? So we didn't know who we were. And even like identity-wise, how we played was kind of weird, and we didn't have an identity. Then we went Saracen, and it was like, okay, this isn't an identity. This is just like a placeholder manager while we figure this whole shit out. And then Berhalter, if you really think about it, there were like multiple iterations of Berhalter, the early years of Berhalter, where, he was doing some really weird stuff. And then he went to like this post-COVID possession-based thing that was like pretty toothless, honestly, right? It kind of got the job done, but like we never were able to do that against a team like Paraguay, who's going to sit back on you and try and be solid. We were never able to just be like butter, like cutting through butter, and then you went into the post Berhalter era or Berhalter 2, and we're all over the place. Like, are we BJ? Are we this? Are we Berhalter? Are we? And into the Poch, beginning of the Poch era, it was like, well, what's Poch going to do? And who are we? And we slowly started to develop a little bit of this identity over the last year in these friendlies of like, oh, we're 3 in the back. Like, oh, we're wing backs. Like, oh, we're double pivot. Like, and like there's some ideas in the final third that are like, oh, we are like kind of like direct with like incredible like purpose when we get it into the final third. And tonight it just all culminated where it's like we were ruthless in the final third in that first half. Ruthless. It was like every move had a purpose, every pass had a purpose. Everyone, the announcers were saying it, right? These guys are just looking to take somebody on. Like everybody who gets on the ball is like, my turn. And it was a very clear identity of like, oh, we're not only a possession-based team, we're going to play like direct with our possession, and we are going to utilize what our best players do really, really well in the final third. And you know what? We might have some holes defensively behind, but against a team like Paraguay, if we're going to possess that well and counter press, right, when we give it up, then we're going to kind of dominate you. I don't know what that identity means against Germany or against France or against Spain. I don't know, but man, it was a fun game and a fun identity. And it was so clear who we were, what we were about.
there's just so much meat on the bone. I just want to try to make sure I don't there. You know, when excitement's high and there's like you're kind of anxious and stuff, you just don't want to miss anything you have to say. Let me start off with this, right? That was, because people would maybe try to downplay this win, Adam, by saying there's 48 teams and that the opponents aren't going to be as high quality. That's bullshit. This is a good group. Every team in this group is good. We played teams like that similar before in the past. We've never beaten them like this. So I just want to first off say beating a team like Paraguay 4-1 is decisive. It's a statement win. Like, it's not like Paraguay is not considered to be a World Cup team that can win it or anything, but they're a competitive team. You and I talked about maybe I was more pessimistic, saying that they could make it a game. It was never a game. Like, we were dominating the entire time. We won decisively, right? So this is the most dominating win the U.S. men's national team has ever had in my lifetime at the World Cup. Ever.
No. This is the most dominant win ever.
Ever, no matter what.
So I've got the results in front of me. I had to pull it up. I got the all-time scores. Do you know how many times we've scored 3 goals in a World Cup game all time? Just take a guess. We'll do a little.
Is it like 2 or 3 times?
It's 3 times. And did you know that 2 of those times were in the 1930 World Cup in the first 2 games?
Yeah.
So we scored 3 goals. We went 3-0, 3-0 in 1930. And the Portugal game is the only other game we've scored 3. We have never scored 4 in a World Cup game until tonight. So I want to hear nothing about, the opponent. Guys, we've played opponents like that a million times in World Cups. We've never done it. And to be honest, I would say this Paraguay team was a better opponent than many teams we've played. Like, I don't know how, I don't know if we have some casuals. I'm sure we have a lot of diehards if you're with Will and following Will and on these live streams. Paraguay beat Brazil, Argentina, ever heard of them, and Uruguay in World Cup qualifying. Guys, that wasn't a long time ago. It wasn't a different team. Like, we just took a team that beat those 3 teams in World Cup qualifying. And I get it. We're home. But like, we just cut them up. Other than a totally fluke, random, like horrific defensive moment. And like, we can get to that later. I want to celebrate first. But like, other than that, it was like, that was it. Like, what else did they get, dude? Like, the first moment of the game, they kind of had a nice little action that led to a, shot with no angle. I feel like they had nothing else, like the whole game. It was dominant, dude.
They didn't. Real quick, because I haven't mentioned this yet, guys. Listen, USMT just won. If you're happy about this, which I'm assuming most of you guys are, hit the like button. Let's get to 100. Let's get to 200 likes. If you are a USMNT fan or just happy to see them win like this, hit that like button. Help me and Adam out. And also hit that subscribe button. This is the first of many, hopefully. With the way we play tonight, who knows? Sky's the limit how many post games we'll be able to do. Actually, we won't be able to do many with Adam because he's going to be in Greece. But maybe if we make it far, he'll be able to do one when he gets back. We'll just have to see.
I'll jump on in Greece. You don't think I'm there? I'm watching. I'll jump on. Wi-Fi might be spotty, but I'm there, dude. Got
the Greek internet, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens. But man, I just. So you said that this is the 4th time we've ever scored 3 or more goals, correct?
4th time we've ever scored 3 or more. First time we've ever scored 4 in a World Cup.
First time ever. Well, okay. Unreal. What about this stat? Did you see my stat I posted earlier about the multiple goals?
Yeah, say that one. That's a great one.
First time since 1930 that any player has scored multiple goals for a USMNT since 1930. Balogun becomes the first. I forgot. In one game. First time since 1930. And ironically, I think it was the Paraguay game, 3-0, that the guy scored a hat trick on. I never had heard of him before. Don't get mad at me for that. But this is the first time that, McBride, Dempsey, Donovan, Pulisic before, none of them have ever scored a brace, multiple goals in a World Cup game before tonight. And that just shows the difference.
We just scored more goals in that game than we scored in 7 of our World Cups. Like, there were 7 individual World Cups. We didn't get to 4 goals. Like,
isn't that crazy?
Oh, it's crazy. And honestly, the 2 times we were above it, we were at 5 a couple times, but like, we were at 7. 7's the most we've ever scored in a World Cup. And like, dude, it was, I need to rewatch it and like almost, settle my emotions to fully be logical and probably give any sort of real insight. but it was just so delightful. Like, that's how it felt,
It was fun.
because it wasn't just like a game like Portugal. If anybody was alive and watching that 0-2 Portugal game, which was unreal and like built a lot of lifetime soccer fans in my generation, like anybody I know who's all in on the USMNT, who's 40, 35, 40 to 50, they watched that game at some point in their teens or 20s or something. And that was like an igniter for a generation. It really was. 94 kind of brought a bunch of people in. 98 almost lost us. And then 0-2 was like, we're here. And that half where we went 3-0 up against a team that was like, one of the favorites in that World Cup. I think they were like 4th or 5th favorite in that World Cup. It was special, but I'll just say this. We didn't dominate that half. We like had moments. Like we almost like caught lightning in a bottle moments against Portugal. They like owned the half. And that's like a sneaky thing that people don't remember. Dude, we dominated that half in a way I've never seen us dominate a World Cup game. I've never seen that. I've never, ever, ever seen it be like, we're overwhelming. Like we could, somebody tweeted back at me, at halftime, like, felt like we should have had 5. And I was like, that is so legit.
It is legit. No, it is. We should have.
That is how it felt. Like we had so many chances. It was crazy.
Okay, let's talk about the first half, right? Because there's still a lot of stuff we need to talk about. All right. So Incesto played their striker, and there was a lot of debate if he would even be ready for this tournament. And then Richards played. So at that, I was feeling pretty good about our chances. I didn't know. I mean, no, I don't think if anyone told you they were expecting this result tonight, they're lying to your face. Nobody was expecting this. Not a single person. Not even you, who was very optimistic.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
My prediction was 2-0. That was my prediction.
And by the way, we would have been okay with that too, but we exceeded that, right? I was just blown away by, we just came out of the gate looking great. And the person who needs to be spoken about tonight, which hopefully he's fine, was Christian Pulisic, man. He's just gliding on the ball. It looks comfortable. He looked like the best player on the pitch tonight. Well, maybe outside of Balogun, because Balogun looked really good too. But Pulisic was just continuation of what we saw against Senegal and Germany, which is what we want. And I would be very hard pressed to find any critiques for the entire team in the first half.
I got no notes, dude. No notes. I mean, it was like every guy was spectacular. It was really one of the, it's almost like a perfect half, where it's just, but yeah, Pulisic led the way, man. Like right from the jump, right? Like right from the jump, I don't know how many minutes it was in for that first goal. It was like 7 minutes in, right? He like got double teamed and was like, F it. I'm splitting these two dudes. And like, it wasn't like a clean action after that, but he split those two dudes. And all of a sudden, like the defense was like, oh my God. And like they collapsed and they just were not ready for what came next. Right. And like, if you know soccer, like get the ball into the box a lot of times in dangerous fashions and like weird stuff happens. You'll get random own goals, right? You'll get balls that drop to people. The goal is just get there as much as possible. And so it was like, I feel like so many times in the last 4 years, he like spins back out and plays back to a center back, right? In that moment. And he was like, no. I'm going direct. And like, I think the mindset of the team that we're seeing is absolutely a product of who Pochettino is and a product of his staff. Like, water against rock for 2 years now, right? And it really makes you think like, what would this have been like for 4 if we had 4, right? Like, I think we would have been seeing this sort of stuff at Copa if you gave, I don't know if we could have gotten Poch at that point, but I'm just hypothetically, right? Like a good coach over 3-4 years is going to develop things like in a really special way. And so, so Pulisic, right? I think obviously Ballo, was just clinical every single moment he got, including the offside goal he scored. He was utterly clinical. Like it was insane. Like how many like touches to goals was like nuts for Ballo, right? He did some other good stuff as well, but it's like, I don't mind having a striker who isn't, a build up guy. And it's just like, give me the ball in the box, bro. Like
efficient guy. Just touch the ball, score.
Like he's not Haaland, but like I'd rather have a Erling Haaland than like a number of other strikers who are more all around than Erling Haaland, right? Like, and once again, Ballo's not Erling Haaland, but to my point, like does Pepe do certain things better than him? Maybe, but Ballo's strength is so much better than like anybody else in our pool at what he does, which is just like I finish the rock.
Ever, by the way. No, ever. We need to say that. Ever.
Give
He's the
me
best striker we ever had.
In the rock, it's going in. Like, if he gets any sort of clean shot off, it's like amazing how just utterly like clinical he is, right? Like, he's crazy. I'll give a couple other shout outs and I'll leave some for you. But just to finish up that front line, McKennie, I thought was awesome. I mean, I thought he was like right from the jump, getting stuck in, slide tackling, like leading the counter press from up there, which honestly, you could kind of see Poch's vision now. For a while, I was like, why not West in the midfield? But it's like, oh, like you want to be a team that plays high up the field in possession and attacks, and then you want to counter press with your attackers to slow people's counters down, right?
Yeah.
So it's like having West there. He's almost like the, it's kind of like the front man on a press in basketball, where it's like you need somebody who's like can control the ball and is going to slow their counters down. And so many times he was like in the mix, slowing their counters down, which was such a weapon. And then I thought Dest was phenomenal tonight. I really did. Like, I don't think it led. I know he had the heavy touch, which people will probably criticize him for, but I just thought he was like a maestro on the right side of the field. So it was like, to me, we had like a maestro on the left side of the field in Pulisic, and we had kind of like the Wes and Dest was like magic on the right side, creating stuff. Like, I don't know if you noticed, like Dest was getting behind the defense a bunch. Like, he was playing the ball to West behind the defense. He was just really dangerous. So those are, obviously it's all the attackers that we just named, but like those guys were freaking phenomenal, dude.
Let's talk about this real quick, because I do think someone just posted in the comment section. Poach says Pulisic got kicked in the calf, and that led to his substitution in the halftime. What was like? Were you nervous? I mean, I think you probably were. Were you a little concerned? We saw that.
I
like
was
getting subbed out.
I feel like I'm in an optimistic mode right now, and I feel like it was almost like they said Pulisic looked up at his family or something and said, "I'm good." So that gave me a little bit of like confidence of like, oh, okay, like. We play, if you remember in the friendly against these guys, it got really dirty, ugly. Do you remember, or late? Do you remember it got really ugly and dirty late? And like, I think maybe Freeman got in a scuffle, or like Berhalter, a couple guys got in scuffles, right? Like, and so I think Poch honestly was like, we're up 3-0. Like, the only bad things can happen to Christian here, where he's been dicing them and they're just going to get super pissed. And I kind of like it, honestly, where it's like, hey, he got kicked in the calf. He probably was fine. I bet if it's a knockout game, he's going back out there. But I think it was almost like a cautionary, like, you did your job here, bud. And almost like it buys him an extra, I don't know, he probably was going to come off at 60 anyway, right? So it just buys him an extra 15, 20 minutes of rest, which, remember, those things are key in these. Like, managing your team in a way that you're going to, like, not burn them out through the course of a tournament is massive. So, for the cautionary reasons, maybe he got a little small knock, they didn't want to push it. And just like the way that first game went, I'm hoping it was just like a really smart kind of like, hey, we're job here. I bet if we're only up 2-0, I bet he doesn't come out. I really strongly believe that.
Well, we mentioned this earlier about the starting 11, right? Who was the first person that came in when Pulisic came out? Who was the first substitution?
Yeah, Sebi, baby.
Sebi. Could have brought in Gio and kept Tillman playing in that spot, or I was actually surprised that that Berhalter was the first person that came in.
I was too.
I mean, we knew he was going to play, though. I mean, we did know he was going to play. It's just not the person we thought he would be subbing in for. But I guess you moved Tillman up a little further, and it does make a little bit of sense. Thank God it wasn't rolled on. Okay,
and I want to put a pin in that. I'd want to come back because I think we should talk a lot of positives first, because this is a positive night. But I want to put a pin in like, okay, well, what are we? If there's anything to be worried about after tonight, what is it? So I want to put a pin in that convo, because I think there's some interesting stuff to at least chat about, so we don't come out of here only saying we're going to win the World Cup, which it might feel like right now.
Listen, there is nobody that can bring me down off this high right now. This is the best I felt for the USMNT in years. Okay. And I do want to briefly talk about that later, because, this is something we're foreign to. We just never seen this before, man. We just never have. Poch re-signing, right? Extension, maybe? No, we'll get to that later.
We'll wait till the end.
So as far as like positive stuff, because there are a couple of negative things too. What did you think about the back line tonight? What did you think about Ream and Richards and Freeman?
I didn't feel like, first of all, good. They were good. They were really, other than that moment, I haven't even broken it down yet. I don't really fully know what happened. It was, it was a super long ball that like came in awkwardly. Guys missed clearances. So other than that moment, decently flawless off the top of my head, I maybe would rewatch and maybe find some flaws, but I thought Richards brought a presence back there that was just like commanding, right? Like with the ball at his feet. So he had some small interventions early in the game, but it just didn't feel like anything was really going to like hurt us with him back there, which is such a nice feeling, dude. Like, and then I think he's just always been really clean on the ball, in my opinion, and really just, smooth with it and controls it nicely and gets the ball off his feet quickly and smoothly. And that stuff matters, right? If somebody's a little awkward with the ball at their feet, it kind of impacts the tempo and flow as you're trying to build out of the back. And that's what I see out of Miles. It's subtle, right? And you could say I'm biased or reading into it, but I just see like he's just kind of awkward. He can't make his passing range is much smaller, right? He can't make, he can't skip a pass and make it.
He's uncomfortable.
Cleanly.
He's just very uncomfortable.
Right. He can't break lines as well. And so all of a sudden you now all of a sudden have like Richards who can do that stuff, and Ream, who we always, that's never been a doubt with Ream, right? He's great with the ball at his feet, always has been. And now all of a sudden, like we're much more smooth tactically. And I'll just speak to the first half. And then you put Tillman in the middle. And now all of a sudden what you've done is what we've all been asking to do for years, which is really smart of Poch, is you just surrounded Adams with guys that make up for his weakness, right? Which is like Adams is totally fine as a short passer. He just isn't going to like make special passes very often. And he's not going to be the guy that, breaks the lines with the pass or is that comfortable to like get on the ball and like, really even hold on to it in a way that our other guys did. But all of a sudden you had like Tillman getting on the ball and, that's magic. And you have the center backs who are great, and Freeman I thought was great with the ball at his feet tonight. And then Dest obviously is very good with the ball at his feet. And then if you look ahead of Adams, it's like, well, Wes is doing his thing and Christian's doing his thing. So like all around him, all of a sudden, it's like I saw somebody tweet, it's like the best possession-based team I've ever seen us put out. And I agree with that. Like it really is. It's like the best I've ever seen us be in possession. And it's like really just like the most talented team I've ever seen on the field for the USMNT. When you combine like talent and experience, right? Because now all of a sudden, like we have this talent, but actually a lot of those dudes are like 27, 28 now, 29, Ream 30 or 45 or however old that guy is, man. And it's like, whoa, this is like we've underrated this team. And we were so low on this team coming out of Copa. This team has no heart. These guys have no heart. Like, guys, coaching has always mattered. This is the same group of dudes, man. Like some small rotations in and out from Copa, but like this is the same guys. It's amazing when you coach guys well and when you build guys' confidence up and you have some semblance of like logical, tactical, coherent a way to play and you build an identity. The same players that can look really bad and be like the worst of the worst and these guys suck and get them out of the shirt. All of a sudden it's like, oh my God, this team could be unreal. And we almost like forgot how good this team can be. We forgot that we have got guys at, Juventus and Milan and the Prem and like look around, man, and Monaco. Like this is a team of dudes who have been waiting to be put together to become a team, right? And tonight you saw the first step toward that. And I don't know, sky's the limit, man. Like I'm excited. Like I feel great going into a game like Australia. Because I honestly, Will, we've been dicing teams that do this to us recently. Like that's the one big strength recently is like teams that are kind of sitting back. Like we've started to build an ability to really break those guys down.
Chat, I want you to let me and Adam know after what you saw tonight. And listen, I know that there could be a prisoner of the moment, but I want you to tell me if there's any change in your prediction on where you think this team could go in the World Cup, because we saw what they can do against a very respectable team. Not a team that's going to win the World Cup, but this is not a bad team, and they just absolutely embarrassed them in the first match, 4-1. Let us know if you change your mind at all. But I was thinking about it because me and you talked about you were just so much more optimistic than me like the last couple of weeks, and I wouldn't say I was pessimistic. I was just more like just cautious. That's what I'll say. I was cautious. But what really changed me, right, was when I started looking at the 2022 team and just seeing the talent difference. This team is more talented than that team. And me and Tack were talking about it. And we were talking about how there was no Richards in 22. There was no Tillman in 22. There was no Ballo in 22. There was no Pepe in 22. And then all the guys that were there in 22 are 4 years older, more mature, more polished, ideally. It's just a different. And then you look at the coach, Pochettino versus Berhalter. Everything in every category is better. Maybe goalkeeper, maybe it's the same. Maybe it's a little worse. I don't know yet. It doesn't matter. Everything else across the board is better. The most important things is better, Adam. And so then I started thinking about them like, oh my God. And it's in the US. Like maybe this is something. Like maybe we can make it to a quarterfinal. Maybe this is something that, we will prove a lot of people wrong. And then after tonight, it just cemented it for me, man. Like I've been feeling very good about everything for about a week now. I've been feeling very, very positive about everything that could happen with this team. And, I do want to talk a little bit more about this game, but, as far as the group stage, I think we're going to win it. I think we could get 9 points now. Like, I did not think that was possible before, but I think that is very possible. It's on the table now.
I mean, listen, like, let's just be frank. And I've said this for months now. Like, you should beat Paraguay and Australia. Like the way we've been playing and building up, it's like you're at home. You should beat those two teams. Like it would be like you would either need to play terribly or get terribly unlucky, right? Which, I see why people thought both of those were possibilities. But I'll be honest with you, Will. Like I just didn't think we were going to play terribly. And I think those two friendlies, 2 camps ago, was it March friendlies?
Yeah,
I think those skewed people's brain, and I think people got crazy about that because those second halves were terrible when we were rotating like crazy. And to be fair, I was sitting here saying we were going to start Berhalter at the beginning of this like whole camp because I still was kind of like, what is Poch? What does Poch think or do? I don't know. And I truly think, though, I think he was being really experimental for a very long time. And I think actually Derek had it right when we were on with him a couple weeks back. It was like Germany, we're going to see the lineup, and we did, right? I think we saw the lineup in Germany that he started tonight.
Yeah.
And it was like, we're going to see the lineup against Germany, and then we're going to be ready to go. And he's going to have them ready to go. And I was like, I don't know, Derek, I think we're playing Berhalter. Like, because I kind of did. I just thought that weirdly, I thought
he started like 4 of the last 5 games too, right? So, I mean, that was kind of like,
I know.
Yeah.
So it was, we've been building for a while. And I feel like that one camp threw everyone off. It made everyone really negative. When you really broke that camp down logically, what you could see is there was a very clear delineation between the play with our starting group or close to our A team and the rotated. Remember, we were rotating like 11 guys or like 9 guys. Like it was crazy. Like, so I think that made people overreact a little bit and kind of we lost a little bit of the momentum. And naturally, we were just scarred from the last 10 years as USMNT fans. We're like scarred by the randomness of our coaching, by Kuva, there's a number of things, right? By the Berhalter Geo fallout and we were not going to have Berhalter. Then we have Berhalter. Then the second Berhalter era is the worst thing of all time. Then we get grouped. Like you could go through it. Like it's fair for all of us to have a little sports PTSD, right? Yeah. And for like one bad camp to be like, oh my God, no, the sky's falling again. But when I sat back and like thought about it logically, I was like, I don't think so. Like I think this team right now is building to something different. And then there were like the club form guys, right? Well, club form sucks for a lot of these guys. And it's like, guys, club form has never mattered at a World Cup. It's never mattered. Like it just doesn't. Like I don't know. Just guys for their national team play different, even if they didn't have the best club season,
especially World Cups, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, also too, I think that, the club, it's just completely different, like to your point. And then obviously the country, you're playing with different players and stuff. There's the motivation. And obviously Pulisic's the one example of playing a lot better for a country over club. But one thing that I want to talk about the negatives too, which I don't think there's many, man, but there's a couple, right? Maybe some stuff you can nitpick. One thing that me and you talked about early on was like Poach needs to kind of break it down and build it back up, right, with this team and kind of weed out the bad eggs and maybe get some of the people who are not good for the environment or what he's trying to build. And I think that's maybe exactly what he did. Now, there was some people's like conspiracy theorists that was like playing 40 chess. Like, I think Poach is probably just saving all of his big plans for like the big games. And he's just really doesn't give a shit about any of these friendlies or any of these other, Gold Cup or anything like that. That's aging well. I mean, Poach really showed some, I don't want to say elite management skills tonight, but very good management skills tonight, and something we never seen. And I posted this earlier. I don't know if you saw this tweet, but I said that the person who's aging the worst of anyone is Berhalter. Berhalter never did this. Not even, we don't think we even did this against teams we should have done this against, like some of these island teams, right?
Very rare.
But this just shows that firing him was the right decision, and that we were never going to get where we wanted to go with a subpar coach. And now that we have Poach, anything like I can tell you right now, Adam Turner, look you in your eyes and say, I don't know where we're going to go, but I know that we're going to maximize everything we have right now with Pochettino that we would have never done with Berhalter.
The 4D chess that Pochettino probably played, I think it was close to his first 6 months, when it was the most confusing for all of us. It really was. But I think probably what was going on behind the scenes was something like, hey, guys, this culture sucks. Before we can even think about coaching tactics, building an identity, we got to figure out who we want in the room, and we got to figure out who's willing to be in this room and show up in the right way. So there were a lot of things like not letting Pulisic just come for a couple friendlies because he's Christian Pulisic, and because that's probably what he could do the last couple of years, right? Like under Berhalter, like taking guys like McKennie and putting him on the bench and being like, sorry, you have to earn it, bro. Right? Like bringing in a bunch of randos and like, being like, well, Pat Ajimong, and I still think Pat Ajimong would be here if he didn't get hurt, but Pat Ajimong is gonna, sorry guys, like F it. I'll go with this freaking guy because he works hard. And I think there was a lot of that going on, a lot of like, which is good coaching, man. It's like a great coach is willing to put it all on the line to say, jump on board fully or get the fuck off the ship, And dude, like, and I don't believe Poch would bring guys if they weren't on the board fully. And so like, if you think about who he's now brought, it's like he brought Gio Reyna. He brought Weston McKennie, and Weston McKennie has, showed up for club and showed up for country since Poach is like showed up for the USMNT, right? He's gotten, guys like Marcus Freeman to, become a guy, like a real guy that is like ready at 21 to like step into the World Cup stage and like, be a good player, not like a superstar, but a good player. He's getting system-wise the best out of our nines, which is like hard to do. We didn't see that for a long time. So like, he's got the right guys, on the ship, and he's like putting them in the right positions. Got some question marks, got one big question mark, but like that's special. And that is not a coincidence. That did not just happen in the last 3 weeks. That was tactical from the day he stepped in, and the way he's built, I think, the culture to a place where you see guys all in and like obviously clicking, right? In the way that they're playing together. And at the end of the day, it's like going on the ski trip and going on the, I don't know what else did. Berhalter did weird stuff, right? Like they would go
campfires.
Like whatever. Like that isn't culture, right? That's fake culture. That's like, we're going to do this because this is good culture. Like good culture is holding really good players accountable at a high level and then challenging them, right? And good players usually will build your culture for you if you do that. But if you don't, if you let guys get away with stuff and you let guys half-ass it, then you try and come in and, I'm going to get a leadership council of 7 guys so I don't have to take responsibility as a leader. Like think about Poch's, thing. It's like, no, this is on me, man. Like, we don't need a leadership council, bro. Like I'm the coach.
I'm in control.
Yeah. And like, and I'm going to make the call, and you might not even get a fucking call from me, bro. But like, this is my team. And it's a different style of leadership. It might not be for everyone, but it's right now. It looks like, man, is it working? Like, whoo.
Real quick. So we got 200 people in with us right now, guys. Listen, we're at 56 likes. If you enjoyed the USMNT's huge win, if you're a USMNT fan, hit the like button. Help us out.
Smash the like.
Smash the like. Smash the subscribe button, guys. Come on.
Wait,
we're trying to hit 15.
Do you know that guy? Do you know that guy, the influencer?
No, I don't. What does he say?
Oh, you know that guy? He like will turn his phone on like next to his wife.
Yeah.
He'll be like, what up, gang? And he's like a fake influencer. He's like faking, and his wife's like, stop. but he always says, smash the like, get in the comments. Like,
well, hey, listen, smash the like for us. Let's get to 100. Let's get to 100, guys. If you enjoyed that win, smash the subscribe button. Let's try to get to 15K subs before the World Cup. Okay, so let me ask you this, right? I think let's talk about some negatives. Okay, if you had to put any negatives in this game, what would you say was a concerning thing if you're nitpicking out of this match?
The very big negative is that I think we are very, very shallow in the, I'll call it the back seven, the pivot and the entire back line, including the wing backs. I think there is a monumental drop off if we go to anyone else. And I think the front line's like way different, right? I think you can bring Pepe in. I think you can bring Gio in. I think you can move Tillman up there. And I think the front line, you know, like you're going to have a drop from Pulisic to Tillman, right? But it's way less drastic. And there's still guys who can like do a lot of stuff that we can kind of play around with up there. As soon as we brought Berhalter into the middle of the park, we lost the edge that we had in the middle of the park. Like, and it was stunning. Like, I wouldn't even break it down to figure out exactly why, but like we dominated the middle of the park for the first half. It was unbelievable. It was like old school MMA style. Like that was like, to me, MMA is like the one time in my life I've seen us dominate the midfield in like a drastic way, right? And they did it with like overwhelming effort and athleticism and had to put everything in to do that. In the first half, we did it actually kind of with like clinical passing and ball control, and just like we were there every single time they got the ball. We were like overwhelming in the middle, like counter pressing them, so they couldn't even like get a pass off. And then all of a sudden, Berhalter came in the game, and Tillman obviously going in for Puli is a big drop too, right? I mean, it showed the value of Pulisic for sure,
100%.
And I think Tillman didn't have his best in the second half. He did some cool stuff and special stuff. He didn't have his best, but it was more that like all of a sudden, like if you really think about that game, like what did Sebastian Berhalter do? Like, I remember he got on the ball like 15 minutes into the half, and I was like, oh yeah, Berhalter's playing. Like, and so it was much less like he made a bunch of errors and much more like, I think the midfield just dipped drastically. And I just think he's a worse player. And I get that people love him, and I get that he gets stuck in against bad teams. And I get he's had some good games against good teams, but the level just drops. And I think
what about his shot? The keeper was out of goal. Did you see that when his attempt to chip the keeper and he slipped? Oh. I felt bad.
And
for
I
him,
did.
Dude.
What's funny is I didn't know who it was like right away, and I was like, "That's got to be Seb, right?" And then it fell on the ground. I saw the 14. I was like, "Yeah, that was Berhalter." Fuck. Like,
dude, I felt bad for him, man.
He wasn't even taking the set pieces. Gio was like, so he wasn't even taking the set pieces. It's like, well, he's not gonna take the set pieces. Like, that's kind of like
what
he
actually
does do well.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He was just so. It was he looked a lot like Kellen Acosta, you know, which is like a fine player. And in CONCACAF, it's a good player. Like, you know, and I don't, that's why I'm not good at saying Berhalter's not a bad player. He's not a World Cup quality player. He's not stepping on these fields consistently and going to bring it. And like, I know people are going to say I'm a hater and XYZ, but like, I praise the dude after Uruguay. Like I would love for him to have had an amazing half, but like, we died in that second half because Pulisic went out. That's number one for sure. He was so electric that like it was going to be hard to replace him. And then two, I thought now all of a sudden next to Tyler Adams, you didn't have a maestro with the ball. You had another kind of, you know, okay guy in terms of like, you know, doing the metronomic passing stuff, which Tillman is special at. So that's my big negative is like, if we have to go to we got to kind of have Adams and Tillman in every single minute in the midfield at this point against good teams. Like, I don't think you can bring either of them out of there. And I would even, I think after this game, if I'm poaching, I'm really thinking about it, I'm like, Gio looked pretty good. Like, I know he scored the goal, but he actually did some good stuff other than that. And he like looked like high effort. Like, I think Gio's just the sub for the frontline guys. And I'm keeping Tillman back there with Adams. Like,
or McKennie back.
Tillman's look good defensively, dude. Like,
no, he's a good. Yeah,
I've been impressed. Like, I did not see him as like an 8, you know, or like whatever, a partner in that double pivot. And he's been there. You can definitely bring West back. He just isn't doing it. So I just don't know. I realistically don't know if he's ever going to do it, you know. But maybe in big games or big moments. But that is the other option, right? Is it's like if Tillman has to go out or Adams has to go out, let's please just bring West back. because, if that's a closer game, I don't feel confident having like a Berhalter Tillman midfield or a Berhalter West midfield or just give me. To me, it's like you got Tillman, you got Adams, you got West, and like we got to almost play one of or two of those three, in those midfield spots. So that's my first big negative. What'd you have?
Well, I just think there was a little bit of disorganization and maybe one thing that kind of bothered me at the beginning of the second half was it kind of felt like we were, I don't want to say checked out, but we were just very comfortable with that lead. And Paraguay were kind of like, they weren't doing anything crazy, but they were putting a lot more effort. Yeah. And I said that I want to see us put a full 90, and I don't want to see this where we play 45 or 60 minutes of great ball and then we just completely shit the bed. I want to see a full game. And I just didn't think that we were getting that. I feel like there was and I think that was maybe a Berhalter thing that Poach is still trying to beat out of these guys or break them of, is just being comfortable with the lead of any sort. What was the game that we had the lead it was where Berhalter looked on the sidelines and was like telling guys we were up or something like that, or that another team was up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Was it Colombia or something? Or Panama?
I think it was a World Cup qualifying game or something like that.
No, I think it was Copa America. Like it was a group stage and another team.
You're exactly right. Exactly right. And somebody else was up and he was like, we're good. We're good. Like, chill. Like you're playing the scoreboard. Like, yeah.
Right. So that's just gone now. That's out. Like our foot's on the gas. There's no more being, letting other teams control your destiny, which I love. Right. So that was one thing that kind of concerned me, but we snapped out of it real quick, right? It's just a nitpick thing. And then Richards, that goal we conceded, I don't know what he did or like what happened there, the miscommunications, but that was obviously a little concerning. Did you think that, I don't have a lot of complaints in the first half or about any of the starting 11, but did you feel like if you had to, did it feel like maybe Jedi was playing a little nervy early on? Because I feel like he turned the ball over a couple times and made a couple bad passes. Like I wouldn't say he was bad, and he made some plays, but he played a lot. Like if we were comparing him to Dest definitely looked a lot better than Jedi in this game.
Yeah, I actually thought Jedi was better in the second half. So now that you're saying it, like Jedi's best moments were in the second half to me for sure. Like he was like the brightest and getting ahead and doing stuff and looked more comfortable.
Yeah.
In the second. So I agree. My other negative, or at least thing that is like, it's not even a negative. It's more of like a little bit of I wonder, like, we are really playing like we're playing like the way we're not even playing the way France plays. We're playing like France plays way more conservative than how we're playing right now. If you watch like the French national team under Deschamps for the last 8 years or however long, like they play pretty conservative, like they really do, and they hit you on the counter and stuff. And a number of other really good teams play much more conservative than we're playing right now. Like he has us playing like we're like Brazil, like stylistically. I'm just saying, like even against Germany, like we were trying to like possess against Germany, like that whole freaking game. Like we were not like you're Germany and we're the US, like F it. Like we were playing like defense through possession. I've said that a couple times and people probably like that seems weird. And like, but there's a thing in soccer for sure where it's like how well you possess can be your best defense. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of us have like loved having Gio Reyna on the field, because it's like having really good passers on the field. And I think Tillman brings this as well, but having guys who can get out of sticky situations and not turn the ball over in close quarters, right? And kind of like, quickly change your point of attack. It keeps the ball away from the other team. It creates less countering opportunities, right? It like puts your teammates in better spots so they don't turn it over after you give it to them. Because even sometimes guys will pass the ball and convert it, but they pass the ball in a way that they're passing to a guy who's about to get pressed, And I feel like good players are exceptional at not doing that and not putting their teammates in a jam, and then obviously not getting in jams themselves. So to bring it full circle, like we're playing, I don't know, like we are a top team. And what is that going to look like when we play against a top team?
That's $1 million question.
Right. So like where this is all headed is Spain is going to win their group, right? I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah.
They're a pretty decent team. If you don't follow world soccer, they're okay. They're like,
they're all right. Yeah.
Slightly above average. Like
slightly.
So they're going to win their group. They're most likely going to make the quarters, right?
Yeah.
If you think we played well tonight and you think we look pretty good and you think we have a chance to win the group, which I do, I don't think it's guaranteed. Turkey's really good. I'm excited to watch that game. I'm going to stay up late and watch that game tomorrow night. But like, if you think we can win the group, then we're going to play Spain in the quarters, if we get there, obviously. Right. But like, That's where this thing is kind of headed. It's like we're going to be playing a Belgium. We're going to be playing a Spain. We're going to be playing, if we, end up, in being lower in the group, I think we have a chance to play like Argentina. Early.
Yeah.
Right. So like there's a bunch of iterations like where we're about to go play like a top 4 team or maybe top 8 team. Is this what we're going to do against them? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are we about to do this with like Adams and Tillman and Ream and Richards and Freeman behind our like front 6? Like, so that it's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, but a part of me is like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Like,
let's go for it. Yeah.
I want to watch it. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah.
But isn't that kind of crazy? Because I remember there was a lot of people saying that that's the type of ball that Berhalter was trying to play, like the possession ball, right? We weren't trying to like play very like a low block and just hope to God we can get like a 1-0 result. Like we're punching now. We're counter punching now, right? But it looks good. It doesn't look like shit. Like this is not anything like it ever looked in the former coaches. So I feel like Poach, I just think that he knows what he's doing, how to use these players effectively, man. Like whenever we switched to the back 3, it's like everything changed. Like that was like the breakthrough moment for this national team. That's when we started to see the results. And that makes me want, like, leads me to my next question, right? I mentioned this earlier about like we could win the group and stuff, but Adam Turner, let me ask you this. Optimistic Adam, with what you saw tonight, have you changed your prediction at all?
I have.
Okay, what's your prediction now? Let's talk about it.
I think we're going to the semifinals, baby.
Flip
it up. Flip it up. Come on, aggregators. Flip it up. I think we're going to the semifinals, baby.
Semifinals. Wow. So you think we're knocking off a big dog?
We're knocking off a big dog. We're here, baby. I'll say this. I'm being a little crazy right now, but like I'll say this.
Yeah.
I think we're getting, obviously, like I haven't watched every other team in this tourney over the last like 5 months the way I've watched the USMNT, but like we're getting better at a really rapid rate. And I don't just say that about tonight's game. I really say that in the context of like a 6 to 8 month picture, really a year-long picture going back to the Gold Cup. So whatever, 9 months or however long that is.
Yeah.
We're getting better at like a rapid rate. And you have to remember, we haven't like had our guys together like ever. If you go back and look at all the camps, it's like 3 of these guys are like out at all times. And so like there is a thing that's happening where like Poch is figuring this group out, this group's figuring each other out, and they're figuring the style that he wants to play out in like a really like cool and dynamic way. And I think Poch is smart enough that he's going to be able to flex what we do versus better teams, right? I don't, as much as we just made the joke, like, are we about to do this against Spain? Like, I think we're going to flex it. I do think we'll still possess. I think that's going to be a part of the identity, right? And like being direct with our possession and like being able to like go cut you up. I just think against a team like a Spain or a team like an Argentina, like I think there is a much higher chance than I've ever believed before that we can create one of those days, right? It's going to have to be one of those days. Like, let's just be honest. Like, I'm not sitting here saying we're favored to beat Spain. Not that unrealistic. But I'll tell you what, I watched the 2009 Confederations Cup. Did you? Right? Like, I saw it. Like, I saw it happen, brother. Like, and so I don't know. You got to remember, home crowd, if we make a quarterfinal, this country will be wild about soccer. Like, going nuts, because the thing that everybody has to remember is there is nothing going on sports wise in the summer, like nothing.
No,
like there is nothing to draw. And this will become, if we can make a quarterfinal run, this will become a soccer mad place.
Story of the summer, right?
Oh my God. I know everybody who's on here is going to be much more hardcore. All your buddies are going to be calling you going, dude, what's the point of the offside rule? Like, dude, why are they counting the clock up? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you're literally, it's good. Just strap in. If we go to the quarters, you're going to have to answer all those questions all summer, dude. I was already answering them tonight. I had friends texting me the dumbest questions like that. Like, hey, I know you follow this closely. Like, why is this happening? And I'm like, oh my God, like, I can't answer you right now, dude. But like, soccer bad. We're going to go, place will go nuts if we make even a quarter. And if we go up against like a Spain, like you are going to have some of the fervor of like how 1980 probably felt, where it's going to be like people are going to go buy tickets for crazy money, right? Like it's going to be nuts. And I think like there's something to that. There's going to be something to our guys feeling, right? You got to get there. Like there's roadblocks on the way. But if we can get there, I think we're the best positioned with coach, tactics, momentum, talent, right? Just guys like our guys won't be scared. They're just not. Like our guys are not going to be scared of Yamal. They're going to be worse than him, but they're not going to be scared. They're not going to be scared of Pedri. They're going to be worse than him. But like there's something to that, right? And I think our old teams were never scared either, but they were never scared in the way that they're like, well, we're just going to pack this shit in and not be scared. And I think our guys are like Pulisic's like, I've won the fucking Champions League. What are we talking about? Like Weston's been playing at this level for a decade. So he'd be like, I've been playing against this kind of guys for 10 years, man. Tyler Adams has been, on mid-prem teams, right? Going up against really the best strikers in the world. It's not like that level is going to be above what Tyler Adams has faced for the last 8 years, right? And I can go on and on. Jedi, same thing, right? Reem, like he played in the Prem, guys, like for years. So Chris Richards is literally in the Premier League, right? Like, so you're going to have a group that's like also just like kind of like irrationally confident with a country behind them and a coach who's like tactically competent and momentum and experience. This is the moment. If it's ever going to happen, Will, like this is it. So like when I call that, would I actually go put money on FanDuel on it? Like I'll go look at the odds actually, maybe, but like I wouldn't, if it was even odds, I wouldn't bet on it. Right.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm just going to change my prediction. I'm going to be that fucking guy, man. And like, you know what? Call me out if I'm wrong and say I'm stupid, but it's that time of year, baby. It's that time of the cycle. Like it's just time to think unrealistically. Let's go.
Optimistic Adam. Let me read this comment real quick because this guy says, "Oh my God, this is one game." Let me just say something real quick, okay?
Totally fair.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Fair by that.
That is fair, but let me just counter that, right? This is one game, but how many hundreds of games have we had in our entire existence, and we've never done this before, ever? So, like, do you say that's one game? We never seen this before. We never had a guy score multiple goals in a game since 1930. So, like, even if it's one game, this is still unprecedented. We don't see this, and it's in the United States. Like, let us live a little bit. Like, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to win the World Cup, but, like, we witnessed something we've never seen in our lifetime tonight. Like, two things, right? And so I feel like there's why can't we be encouraged by what we saw tonight? Why can't we feel positive about what we've seen and feel like that we could be like I will make this proclamation out. We are definitely a dark horse in this tournament now. Like I'm not saying we're going to win anything, but I'm telling you right now, this team is definitely could be a top 8 team in the entire thing. Could be a top 8 team in the entire thing.
Absolutely. And like my counter to it's definitely just one game, but it's just like, I don't know. This is it, man. Like, why am I going to be a fervent fan for 4 years and put up with the bullshit if I can't celebrate tonight and go crazy and be a little out there and a little wild? Like, what am I doing? Like, I don't know. Just like,
what's the point?
What's the point? Like, this is the point. You have a beautiful night like this. If you're a Knicks fan right now, it is a great time to be alive. You are allowed to go freaking nuts as a Knicks fan. And you were allowed to in the second round of the playoffs, in the third round of the play. Like it's your time. Like, this is our time. So, like, let me shine. Like, could we be back here a week from now and have a different tenor? Okay, yeah, we could. But leave me alone. No, my counter is that, like, this is bigger than just one day because it's been a movement over 9 months, in my opinion. And we've been calling it out every stage of the journey, right? Going back to that camp where I think maybe we lose or tie to Japan, then we beat Korea. Like back to that first camp where there was like, wow, we're playing it back 5. There's some flashes. We've kind of called it out all along the journey. Will, we've been together for this whole thing. We've called out every step of the journey, and it's built to this. So it's not just about one night to me. It's about the momentum that's been building and see it culminate in a performance like this on the biggest stage. This is the stage, man. And like you had big time players showing up in, one of the biggest games of all their careers, right? So it's a great time to be alive.
Okay, let me ask you one more thing. We've been going for 59 minutes. I probably won't talk to you again until the game is over. When are you leaving for Greece?
I actually won't be able to jump on next week. I'm gonna have to watch that game delayed. We have my brother and I are going to the US Open next week at Shinnecock. We've had it planned for a long, long time before I even knew the schedule. And so I'm kind of nervous. I'm going to be off my phone all day. and we're whatever, recording it on our YouTube TV. We're gonna go back. We're actually camping out that night, going to play Bethpage Black, which you have to like camp the night before. So we're gonna like get it all set. He and I, our goal is to like not listen to anyone, but I feel like we're gonna catch the score from somebody at the game,
because everyone's talking about it, especially if it's crazy, right?
People are gonna be talking about it. But anyway, we're optimistically, I haven't seen it and I'm watching it delayed. So I might be doing my delayed watch tweets next week. But yeah, I think we might chat. I would love to chat with you after the Turkey game. I'll be somewhere in Greece and like positioned and watching it, or probably be late night, but we'll figure it out. We'll jump on.
Well, let me know this, okay? So I guess we won't talk about it, and I'm gonna do a preview this week. But what do you think? What's your early score prediction for that Australian game after what you saw tonight?
I think we finally get a clean sheet, dude. I think it's gonna be. I'm going to predict 2-0 in that game. I think we'll get a goal at some point in the first half, and then I think they'll be chasing. I think they'll stay super solid for most of the game, and I think chasing late. I'm just going to repeat my script. That's what I thought the script would be tonight. I think chasing late, we'll go get another one. And I think we'll finally get a clean sheet. We were so close tonight. We played such a good defensive game. We deserved a clean sheet. You know, in my opinion, I do agree. They did outplay us for about 15 minutes there at the beginning of the second half, but it wasn't leading to that many great chances. Like, and the chance they got was off like a 80-yard free kick that just like fell in between guys and it was like so random. So we're due a clean sheet. So I think we're going clean sheet against Australia. I think we played them recently in a friendly and played well. And I think Poach is going to be ready to kind of, understand they're a pretty simplistic team, to be honest. Like, they are going to bunker up and then they're going to counter. And they actually are pretty decent on the counter. And they have some guys who can kind of hurt you. So 2-0, I'll go 2-0 again.
I'm going to save my prediction, but I just want to see what you thought, because I probably will do so we actually haven't played them since 2015. Or no, 2025. No, it was 2025. We beat them 2-1.
We played them in Paraguay. Yeah.
That's right. So we'll see what happens. It's kind of funny. We did play both of them recently.
I know.
In our group stage. Yeah. Listen, man, this is one of the greatest nights in my life as a USMNT fan. I don't care if anyone clowns me for it. It just is what it is. It's how I feel. I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I can't wait to have you on after the Turkey game to see hopefully us winning the group and then seeing who we play in the round of 32, which will be probably a lesser opponent if we win it. Adam,
real quick, because I know you're rapping, and let's get to the rap here in a second. But you just intrigued me. Like, where does the emotion of this night sit as a USMNT fan in your lifetime? And like, I encourage you guys, whether you're watching live or on repeat, like, comment that. Like, that's a cool comment. Like, I'm going to go check the comments, because I would love to see, like, for some of you guys that are, early 20s, right? Like, where does this sit? This might be the best night, right, that you've had as a USMNT fan. If you're in your 30s, it might be like, oh, I remember being a kid for that Ghana game. Or sorry, not the Ghana game, the Algeria game, right?
Yep.
That led to the Ghana game, right? So like the Algeria game, it might, for me, it's like the 0-2 Portugal game was like wacky, right? The way, even like we ended up drawing them, but like just the emotion of that was like wild, right? So I'd love to know where this sits in like the pantheon for people, because it's high for me. Like, I don't want to get like too hyperbolic and say it's the best night I've had, but like, it's in the conversation. Like, it's making me think, like, how did I feel after that Portugal game? It's weird. Like, we made it out of the group of death in 2014, but there was never really a night in that World Cup where I was like on a crazy high. I think when we made it out, I was, but I wasn't as emotional as I am right now, So it's an interesting combo, dude. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of see where this can go.
Man, I don't know where it would be. I'd have to think about it. But if we're talking about like a singular game, it has to be top 3. Might be number 1. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But I mean, just the excitement, the most goals we scored in a World Cup. I mean, the World Cup's the only thing that really matters. So it's the best World Cup game I've ever seen from us. And I'm excited, man. And listen, guys, because of what we saw, this is hopefully the tip of the iceberg. Hopefully there's more to come, and that we get to see a lot of, incredible moments created during this World Cup. Adam, I appreciate you for hopping on, my friend. Guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give us a like down below. Subscribe to the channel. We got more World Cup coverage on the way. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. And make sure you check out my good friend Adam at StanUSMNT on Twitter. He's got great takes, and he's going to be making some delayed takes about the game next week. You're not going to want to miss. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.